Welcome back to the Top 6 show, plus Man United. Welcome back, everybody. We've got David, we've got Egal, Ram, and Henry. Feels like we've got some nice originals on here as well today, like lockdown originals. And Henry have joined us on the show today, which is really, really nice. Henry's like a tag along, like Man United in the top 6 right now. It's one of them. It's one of them. But
Tottenham are a tag along also.
Yeah.
Who?
Tottenham are also a tag along.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Tottenham were never really in it, bro.
We don't need to do that. We don't need to do that today. It's a national break.
Yeah, do you know what it is? Do you remember? Any of you guys watch Harry Potter or read the books?
Yeah,
yeah, I've watched Harry Potter.
You know, there was Professor Slughorn who used to throw those exclusive parties for the selected students, right? Henry turns up as a waiter. He doesn't get invited, but he comes up to be a waiter, so he's in the door. Like, it's one of them ones.
How do you remember that off the top of your head? You have a good memory.
I love Harry Potter.
Nah, Lord of the Rings is better.
I've only watched it once.
Lord of the
Rings
is
a snore fest. I'm sorry, I can't watch it.
No!
What?
One sec, guys. Or the original movies or the new series?
I'm talking about the length of the movie. It's just I can't watch it.
Though. Like Lord of the Rings 3 and Titanic to this day, no film has ever got more Oscars than that. Lord of the Rings 3 genuinely is a masterpiece.
Wait,
I think
how good a movie is based on its Oscar winnings?
No, but like in that day, there wasn't as much CGI as there is now. It was like more raw acting. Now you can.
So I'm holding you to that, Egal.
I'll tell you, Slumdog Millionaire is
brilliant.
10 times better than any Lord of the Rings.
See, what I would say is this, right? We're going to be on a football minute, people, but where I would disagree with you is subjectively for you, it's 10 times better, but I think objectively speaking, it's not. And I think that's when you look at box office numbers, when you look at awards, when you look at how does a movie stand the test of time. I think Slumdog Millionaire is brilliant, but Lord of the Rings is now 20 odd years old, 25 years old now, and it still gets watched a colossal amount of times per year. If they re-released it in cinemas, it would probably beat some modern day films. But anyway, moving on from movies, we're moving on from the movies. Loads to talk about on the terrace today. And I was gonna start with Man United, but no, we're gonna go right in at the deep end here. I have to get this off my chest. I can't hold it in anymore. This threw me today.
Chelsea have the best attack in Europe. I said it before they signed, and you can see the hat-tricks. You can see them. The way we play, the fluid football, the attacking presence, the players' quality. There's no shock how this Twitter post got released. I wasn't looking at it like, oh, what? I was like, expect it. And guys, expect more. From Nkunku, from Palmer. Noni though, he needs to improve. Because this guy is very wasteful. I'm not gonna lie to you. If he was less wasteful, he would have about like 5-6 GA. But he's just too selfish. Told you all. Chelsea have the best attack in Europe. I warned you.
Ches here. Like Ches, big fan, big friend of the football terrace. Love Ches to bits. But Chelsea, best attack in Europe. Talk to me, Henry. Best attack in Europe?
It's not even the best attack in the Premier League. Like, you know, Ches is very passionate. Chelsea have got a good attack, by the way. Palmer's one of the best players in the world. But collectively, like, Man City have scored more goals this season. They've only scored one more goal than Arsenal, who have played 2 matches with 10 men and had a much harder start to the season in terms of the games. They've only scored a few more goals than Ange Spurs, who play with Timo Werner up front on the left. You look at Madrid, you look at Barca. I'd probably say Chelsea. Did Chelsea have a better front three than Aston Villa?
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know. Like Duran.
No, because Duran's a bench player.
Yeah, Duran's a bench player.
Henry. Villa ain't the best example. They're underperforming a lot.
No, it's not the best example, but outside of the top 6, Villa have got a very, very good attack. Like, if you used to put a combined
but what
attack,
Ollie
I'm
Watkins,
taking Duran and Watkins.
Leon Bailey.
Okay, so who starts on the left? Chelsea.
Ollie Watkins. Who starts on the left? Pedro Neto. Madrid.
Okay.
No, Sancho starts on the left. Sancho's
okay.
left.
Yeah. Those are the 3 options.
So I'm taking Duran and Watkins both over Jackson.
But Duran's a bench player.
He's a bench player.
You can't play Duran and Watkins together. You can't play Duran and Watkins. They don't play together. It's one or the other.
Yeah, okay. Let me just set the preface. Hang on, guys. Let me jump in for a minute here. Let's look at the premise of this, though. Ches didn't say best starting attack because he mentioned Nkunku. He's talking about overall the strongest attack. I think that does include who you bring on from the bench to add to your attack. I think that your bench is an important part of your attack in modern day football.
Can I just be clear? Did he say Europe or the Premier League?
Europe.
Okay.
Which means both.
Yeah. Real Madrid, Bayern Munich. If I'm not mistaken, Inter up there. Am I tripping? Or do they not have a decent attack?
Decent attackers.
Yeah, so that's three right there. You go to Barcelona, bring in Lamel, Lewandowski. You go to Man
City. Again, can I also say, I don't think Ches is being... I don't think he's being serious, guys.
I think multiple videos, not one.
Egal, you want to run agenda because you want to hate my club. And I get it. I really get it. Right? I get it. You're worried. I get it, bro. But you're now clipping up.
He's scared.
1 second. Well, bro, the thing is, you guys are overhyping your team. 7 games into the season.
How?
Yes, you are. I've seen people say Chelsea have the best squad in the league. You guys heard this. I've heard people say Chelsea have the best attack in the league after you scored 6 versus a team and Cole Palmer scored 4 versus Brighton. I've heard you guys have the best attack in Europe from Ches and other people. You guys do overhype Chelsea, and the reason why I say overhype Chelsea.
In the same breath, Egal. In the same breath, I've heard Arsenal fans say we've got the best defense in the league. And we're going to break Chelsea's Premier League goal scoring, goal not conceding record. And
1 second, there's a difference between making a prediction. 1 second, there's a difference between making a prediction and making a statement that's incorrect. A prediction, people can get predictions wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on.
Fans said they were going to break records.
Yeah, but Dave,
you're comparing Arsenal fans. You're comparing Arsenal fans overhyping a team that is warranted of hype. Where you guys have literally played 7 games under Maresca. 7 games under Maresca. 7 games under Maresca, and you guys are speaking like some of your.
Egal is right, though. Egal is right. Egal knows from experience. You've got to remember, this is the same man who put more Arsenal players in the combined 11 with Real Madrid last year. So I'm backing Egal because he's done it. He's been there and he's won that. The thing is with what Ches has said, right? I know Ches is exaggerating somewhat. I think when people do TikTok videos, it's nearly always about. Remember Dowd, who used to fake cry and stuff on there? It's TikTok's a bit of it's like pantomime, right? I think they have a very good attack, Chelsea. I think they've got a good to very good attack. I do agree with that scores goals, that looks dangerous. Best in Europe? No, there's off the top of my head, I would say at least 5 or 6 that I just know are better overall and with depth. And in the Premier League, I think it's got an argument to be in the top 4, top 5. There's no doubt about that. But yeah, listen, what I will say is I'm jealous though. I am jealous that I do not have the confidence in my team or the results from my team to even make any crazy statements. I'm not going to lie. I looked at Ches's videos and I was like, I so wish I could have that chest right now. Right now, I am flat, bro. 2 aspirins on an ironing board.
I think currently in the Prem, I'd say we are 3rd. If you want to talk about squad depth,
so break that down.
If you want to talk
about, who's better than you?
So currently, I would have Arsenal and I'd have City ahead of us in terms of attack. I'm not having Liverpool. I'm not having Liverpool because while they do have Salah, which is great, they've also got that Darwin guy. And then they got and I don't particularly, me personally, I don't rate Jota like that. I can't lie, I don't rate Jota like
that. Still got Diaz.
But this is my subjective opinion. Okay, this is my subjective opinion.
Let's let him finish.
So Cole Palmer and Salah, I say, are about level in terms of the output that they've provided over the past 13, 14 months. Then you go to the other players. I'll put him. I think. Right again, Nicholas Jackson, Pedro Neto.
Oh, you dare!
Those guys.
Oh my God!
They're better than Darwin. You see that Darwin guy?
Jackson and Jota on the same level, man. Don't do it.
Jackson. Personally, I think there's an argument to say Jackson's better than Jota. I think it could be an argument.
Oh my God.
I genuinely think it could be an argument. I just don't rate Jota that highly. Like I just don't. I don't see it. Like
okay, if that's the
he
case,
comes in every now and again. He comes in now and again and scores, you know, a goal. But like,
Dave,
you can't rely on. You can't rely on it.
Dave, you're a stats guy. I know you're a stats guy. Yeah. Please tell me what Jota's
and his stats ain't great.
Is. What do you mean the stats ain't great? He's got 32.3% conversion rate.
So are you only expecting, Dave? Are you only expecting City and Arsenal this season to score more goals than Chelsea in the league?
Do you know what? Yes.
So by May next year,
yes.
the only two teams. So bearing in mind, Tottenham have got nowhere near as many attacking resources if you've got, and nowhere near the level of player. We've only got 2 goals less than you currently at the moment, and you've got the best, and we have got Timo Werner, who, by the way, was your flipping sloppy seconds that you gave to us. We've only scored 2 less than you.
But also, you do play the most attacking version of football.
Yeah, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter about the system.
No. You commit. No, let me explain. You commit as many people forward as you can until they get stupid. All right. So, like, yeah, like I still think we will score more goals than you. I don't think that's out of the question.
Yeah, you should.
But like, would I be? I think there's a 1 and 2 in terms of City and Arsenal. And I think there's a 3, 4, and 5 of Liverpool, Chelsea, and Spurs, which are really close because of the styles of football and the players and this, that, and the other. And then United, we don't care.
So, are you going to score more goals than Liverpool?
I'm going to say yes. I'm going to go big chest, and I'm going to say yes. We will score more goals than Liverpool this season.
They've scored for the facts right now. So far this season, they've scored 3 more goals than Liverpool thus far. So it's 16 versus 13. I was surprised. Brighton have scored 13 goals this season, which is very good.
So Brentford.
Oh yeah, Brentford has scored 13. Man, my club's on 5. I'm gonna laugh because if I don't laugh, I'm gonna cry. I want to ask you a question about City's attack. Right? I want to ask you about City's attack. You know, sometimes you hear debates out there where if you exclude Fergie, who's the greatest Premier League manager ever, if you exclude Messi and Ronaldo, who's been the best player in the last decade, just to make it. If you take Haaland out of City's attack, is it even in the top 4 of best attacks in the Premier League?
No, I don't think it's as good as Liverpool or Arsenal without Haaland.
I don't think it's better than Spurs without Haaland.
Wow. Savinho and Grealish, Foden.
KDB's injured. Rodri's not there. They don't have Oscar Bob. Let's be honest. Doku just scored his first goal in months. Phil Foden is off form. Gundogan just came back and is not looking that good. Bernardo Silva has not been doing well. They've been depending on Kovacic to have his best ever goal-scoring start to a career to get goals. Who do they really have? Savio's not starting week in, week out. Am I crazy to say Spurs with Son, friggin' Dominic? What am I saying? Dominic? I mean, what's his name? Solanke and friggin' put Richarlison, put whoever, Kulusevski, Madison. You have better attacking threats right now than what Spurs do with their injuries and all the players out of form, and especially the player of the season not even getting back up to fitness yet.
I think it's more unproven is the right word. Like you look at the players that they've got, they're all majority of them are young players. They're all talented, very, very talented players. Like I think I'm looking at. I can't remember that right winger's name. The guy that played for Girona last season. Salvio. He looks like a proper player, but again, it's unproven. He's only done it for 1 season in Girona. We'll have to see what he does in the Premier League. They've got a lot of quality young players, but they haven't proven anything. But Haaland is worth 3 players. He's generational, man. And that counts for a lot.
I think why the conversation, again, why I find the conversation interesting is look, Haaland is the best finisher in the league by a country, best number 9 in the league by an absolute country mile, in my opinion. But when you remove him, you look at the rest of their goals this season. Obviously, Kovacic scored 2 the other day. Got a John Stones goal. I think Guardiola will score the goal. I think the front line, Doku, Grealish, and so far Salvio, they are not prolific and they are not even that high on the assist level. And that's why it's an interesting conversation. If they were to lose him for any reason, and touching wood they don't, I just feel like City are in this their attack's almost in this little transition period. So the team isn't, the club isn't, but their attack almost is, because I think there is the potential for Doku and Salvio to become absolute monsters in terms of the output to match their ability, because their ability is absolutely out of this world. It's just interesting looking at their team that isn't, or right now, so far this season, there doesn't seem to be a lot of goals or assists without Haaland being in that team from the front players. Obviously, they've got the midfielders that kind of add into that as well. So, and somebody says never discount Pep. I'm not discounting Pep at all. I still think they've got a great chance of winning the league if Haaland got injured. But I'm just talking on paper. This is what football conversations have been forever and a day, and we shouldn't stop them now because it hurts people's feelings. But I wouldn't say Tottenham's is better without him. I still think Tottenham's... No, it's Tottenham.
Do you think they score more goals than us without Haaland in the Premier League?
I think they will move. Is KDB fit?
No.
Yeah, if you just say KDB and Foden, everyone's fit.
If KDB is fit,
that was not my argument, though.
What do you mean?
Because if you take out Haaland,
my argument was based on right now. If you were to take Erling Haaland out of out of Man City's team right now, how many goals he scored? 10 goals. That would mean the rest of the team only shared 7 goals.
I understand that, but
based on the proportion of goals scored by one individual player,
I think that's fair. I think it weakens them. I think they go from being the best attack, and I think they drop down to second or third. But you know that Pep would be able to put Foden and or Gundogan in that false sort of 9 role, and they would score goals still. And I think that the brilliance of Pep and the way his team is drilled, that they would still outscore Tottenham. And they would still win more. They would still outperform Tottenham. So I couldn't put them below Tottenham. But I think without Haaland, you can make an argument for the Arsenals and Liverpools being slightly above them in terms of on paper. Again, no one's got Pep, right? No one's got Pep. No one has the ability to fix a problem like him. So but we're only talking on paper here. But I wouldn't drop. I only asked the question. It doesn't mean I believe in the question. But again, a lot of people struggle with that concept. Let's go to some of the comments that have come through here during this conversation. The only thing Jackson has over Jota is ability. Jota is better.
Availability, Terry.
Availability. Sorry, availability. Dyslexia. Sorry.
Which is a massive part of football.
But you don't apply that to Reece James. You don't apply that to Reece James.
What do you mean?
When we talk about availability,
I can't say what.
When we talk about availability, what?
I can't say he's the best right back in the world right now because he don't play. He's too injury prone.
All right, fair.
No, it's true. I mean, Reece James on ability is up there. Reece James' continual lack of availability, he probably doesn't even fit in the top 15 right backs in the league. Not on ability, but in terms of availability, there's so many people you would pick over him because it doesn't matter how good you are if you're not on the pitch. That's why, though, I rate someone like Saka so highly, because that man is always available. And I think availability is such an important element for football. But Mo Salah, again, the man is never injured. No, we're not going to talk about Bruno Fernandes. We'll leave him.
By the way, Terry, Reece James has been captain for almost 2 years now. How many games did he actually captain the side?
I'm not a Chelsea fan. I don't know. David, man.
It's like 7 or 8, isn't it?
I do not know that off the top of my head. I bet.
Well, I suppose it would be how many games in the last 2 seasons he's played. He's captain probably, and he ain't played many games. 4.
No, it can't be 4.
Nah,
I read this stat on Twitter the other day.
That's 4. That's nuts.
That's your club captain, Dave.
So in the last, he played 10 games. He played 11 times last season. So was he captain last year?
Yeah, nonsense. Yes, he was.
Substitute appearances, Terry.
He wasn't captain every time. Only when he starts.
Starting.
No, but when he steps on the field, he's still captain.
Oh, okay, we're doing
David.
that.
I want. Does he wear the arm? He don't take on the armband when he comes on, does he?
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does.
But either way,
I don't know. I don't know why I'm fighting this. Like I actually care. I don't care.
Again, 11 appearances in the last 2 seasons is crazy. In the last 3 seasons, it only adds up to 35 appearances in 3 years. Wow.
You got
to sell him. He's never played more than 30. He's only played more than 30 league games once. And he's only played more than 30 league games once in his career. They only paid more.
I'm
It's
not
crazy.
selling them.
Super chat here. Thank you, Luke Skywalker. People, get the like button hit. Get that smash right now. You're doing well on Twitter, YouTube, but Twitch is killing you. They've got more than double the likes. So YouTube people, get that smashed. Kerios here says, David, please be sensible. Ches and Don are unbearable. Our attacking options are excellent, no doubt. Maybe top 3 attack in the Premier League and top 10 in Europe.
Yeah.
It's kind of.
I don't think
that's outrageous.
I don't think you're better than us.
That's cool. Okay, instead of being 3rd, we're 4th. Kill me, shoot me. Do you know what I mean? Like,
oh, but certain Chelsea fans like Ches and
You know
Don.
what
David just said, I don't care. Ram came in with all that chest, and David went, so what? All right, I'll go 4th then. Don't care. Like,
I'm not talking. I know
Ram
David is a
sat there
sensible
for 10
guy.
minutes building himself up to that, and David went, don't care, little bro.
No,
Sit down. Get back
Dave,
to the kids.
I'm not talking to Dave. I'm talking to Ches and Don, who I know for a fact are watching this.
Do you know how
You're
you
not better than
shut you down there? Sometimes I drive in the car and the kids are making noise in the back, and it's just like, yeah, just shush, I'm driving. It was like that. It's like, Ram, the grown-ups are talking. We'll take 4. Sit down and eat your McDonald's. Be quiet. No disrespect. How is Saka doing as captain since Odegaard's injury? I don't know what that
He's
means.
doing good. Well, we're winning games. We're going away to big grounds and getting results, and we're leaving. I'm happy.
It's a great segue. That's a great segue to the next topic. Hang on. Speaking of Gooners, Trimless Gooner is here with us now. Yes, bruv. How are you?
Well, I'm good. Obviously, KJ was a bit late in the link. I'm not late. No black man timing around here, guys.
I was on KJ. I let KJ's backstage. That is going in your monthly 1-to-1, KJ. We'll be noting that down.
I didn't mean to snitch.
So that's all right. It's all right. It was better
By the way, Terry,
go on.
Did you see what's going on in Arsenal Twitter? There's an infighting between the fan base talking about we don't miss Odegaard. People saying stuff like, we don't miss Odegaard, or are we better without Odegaard? And there are cases we're better on the transition without him. And there's certain people who have Odegaard agendas, Odegaardisms, and they're basically saying his weakness is on the transition and we shouldn't play him in games where we want to play on the transition.
Okay. Well, what's your take on that?
I think it's ridiculous. I think Odegaard's strengths is what we are the best at. When we have possession in the final third, we're recycling and we need that extra creator to create those chances. Yes, he might have a weakness on the transition in the sense where he might not be as fast as other players on the transition, but overall, his strengths in helping us create in the final third and how much he brings to our attack is so needed at times. And you see it in some of those games when the quality of chances that he creates compared to Leandro Trossard. Although I like Leandro Trossard and what he did versus who was it again? PSG. How many times a game do you see Odegaard pick out a pass like that, or pick out a pass in the game that breaks a defense? Probably 4 or 5 times a game, and that's more needed in majority of the games. But hey, I think the credit goes to Arteta, making him almost like somebody who we don't miss as much, even though he's one of the best players in the team.
He leads the press as well, doesn't he? That's one of his biggest attributes, the fact that he leads the press. But yeah, I think you're right. I think you've got to give more praise to Arteta, because ever since you've used the dark arts, people have lost their minds. This is what Jose, Conte, Simeone, all these defensive-minded, pragmatic coaches have made careers and won endless trophies out of it. I think this is what I've criticised Ange for. He doesn't have a game plan, like a plan B. Arteta does. And so far, you've gone to City, Villa, and Spurs and won 2 out of your 3 away games so far this season. And you got a draw in Atalanta, and you've won against PSG. Like, yeah, I think when he comes back and Marino's fully fit, you'll be a lot better. But I don't think you can really compare the side with or without Odegaard, because the numbers speak for themselves. He's got a lot more goals with him than without him. By
the way, anyone who thinks I'm making this up, there's a cult following behind this account named No New Things. You guys probably heard of him. He's a nutcase. Basically,
Egal. I would say Egal. I don't think anybody other than a troll thinks you're making that up. I mean, I've definitely seen these conversations going. I've seen it on podcasts. I've seen it on Twitter. It's there. Do you know what I find really interesting about it is there's a few things. I think Henry's right. We saw people say earlier about what if Haaland was out for City. The first thing we would all go to is Pep will find a way. Now, before anybody loses their minds, because we know that happens online, I'm not suggesting that Arteta is as good as Pep. But when Odegaard got injured, whether you're a detractor of Arteta or someone that praises him, there was almost universal meltdown. The season is over. Oh my God, we're done. It's already finished. Odegaard's out. Your manager has found a way to keep you winning and keep you into a very good position in the league and in the Champions League. So you're right. He does deserve praise for that because he's found the way of getting you through this period of injuries and players being out. I don't think it's this whole idea of do you miss Odegaard, do you not miss Odegaard? It's like that weird question of what's our best 11? I don't believe the question should be, well, there should be a return to that question, which is who are we playing, home or away? Because when you're away against Man City, it may be a different 11 that you pick for being at home versus Brighton. I don't think there is necessarily you've got your best 11 players on paper, but as we all know, football matches, some debates we do on paper as fans, of course, but football matches are not played on paper. It's about getting the best out of your team. And I think that there'll be times where, I mean, when Ben White comes back, it's going to be interesting to see what happens because I think Timber and Calafiori have looked good in those positions as an example. Odegaard will, of course, come back into your team. But I think there's an element of truth to, or maybe when you are playing more transition football, you could have Odegaard on the bench for some games. But this is something Arsenal fans have got to prepare themselves for. It isn't a case of either or either. It's both. The best teams in the world have to learn to rotate. When Man United were at our pomp, City fans will know this because they've gone through it. Chelsea fans in their pomp have gone through this. Sometimes I've tuned into a game when Fergie was here. I'm excited. And I'm like, why is Giggs on the bench? Why is Scholes not playing? Why is Rooney on the bench today? Happen regularly. Because sometimes you bend and change and twist to get the best out of your squad. And I actually think the biggest one of the biggest criticism of Arteta in the past couple of seasons is he may have been a bit too rigid and always played the same players and maybe burnt some of them out a little bit. So I wouldn't entertain that debate from a perspective of we don't miss him at all or we completely miss him. I think it's demonstrated you can cope without him. So you should now encourage at the right times more rotation, especially to keep the sort of energy and sort of the air in the lungs of these players as you get to the back end of the season. So I don't necessarily think it's a bad conversation to have. I just don't think the correct answer is a polarized one at the end of each spectrum. I think there is balance that's needed here. And this period has probably been very good for Arteta to assess players like Trossard starting regularly in that role. And I think it's given you more options, not bigger headaches, in my opinion.
100%.
Thank you for tuning in to the Arsenal Terrace. To everyone who's tuning in. So it's what I think. I see the debates, but I don't know. I just don't necessarily think there needs to be a war about it. But that again, I'm an outsider looking in. It isn't my. I do get it. I don't think about Arsenal like Egal and Trimless do because I don't love your football club. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't look at it through that. Yeah, I don't. But it's like, and you'll get this, Egal. You've recently become a father. You the way you think about your own, that when you're out with your missus and you might be somewhere, maybe your baby starts making a bit of noise. Are you a little bit like, oh, I've got to keep the baby quiet because other people are drinking their coffee or they're doing their shopping, etc. But when you didn't have a child, you probably barely noticed that noise, but you notice it now it's your kid, right? Like you're hyper focused on it. I feel it's the same difference in many, many ways. What about the rest of the panel, David? Do you think this is an argument that Arsenal fans should be having? Is it healthy for the club or what?
I mean, it's an interesting take because Arsenal's production hasn't really gone down without him. But that I don't think that correlation means that Odegaard's not a good player. I think they should be very happy about is without one of our best players, we've gone to the hardest grounds we're probably going to go to this year, maybe minus 2 or 3 other games, and we've come away with 7 points. So when he's back, we should be even better because no one's going to sit here and tell me that Odegaard's not in their best 11. So, and also he's their club captain. I've just been laughed at because my club captain's played 4 games. So I don't see why you'd have an argument about let's bench my club captain and put in some and roll with what we're currently doing. Like it doesn't make sense to me. But
I get you on that.
You know, people love just arguing.
Yeah, no, I don't know about the Gooners on the panel. Is this an element of there are a percentage of Arsenal fans who have never wanted Odegaard, didn't like Odegaard, and this is almost an opportunity to say, well, I told you we weren't that good. We're just as good without him. Do you think there's an element of that in this?
I think Odegaard is our best player, bro. That's crazy. The way he just makes things tick, and so like consistently as well. People say he goes missing in big games just because he might not contribute to the GA. I hear that. But in terms of how we structure our attack through Arteta, and obviously props to Arteta for having to transform and do his thing recently. But it's like the recency bias in football is crazy. Like, it's like, okay, we've had 2-3 games of no Odegaard. How can you even question, oh, we played? No, bro, we've not just seen the last previous 2 seasons. And I'm just going to end there. Like, what are we doing here? Like, let's just chillax, man. The recency bias is crazy.
Do you think he's more important than Saliba?
When there's...
So I think if Saliba gets injured, I don't. I think you.
I hear you
I
still.
You've got defensive options, but I think that's the game.
Nah, he's still, obviously, I think because we have more depth in attack, then Saliba's more important because of the depth, not because he outperforms Odegaard.
Question for the panel. Who's the best team in the Premier League right now? And I'm talking so far this season, based on their victories, their defeats, their style, all things being equal. Ram, who do you think has been the best team in the Premier League so far this season? Is it Arsenal? Is it Liverpool? Is it City? Or is it somebody else?
What was the team at the top? It was Liverpool. I'm sorry. We got one of the highest goals scored, and we've got the least goals conceded. Mix those together, you got yourself the best team in the league. Sorry, it is what it is. We've played very, very good football where we've limited opponents to getting shots on our goal, let alone good chances. And we've been playing scintillating football at times where we should be smacking teams 4-5-0, but we haven't. So, by that logic, we are overall the best team in the league, and the table don't lie.
How many games you lost this season, bro?
1.
It's more than that.
Say no more.
Look at the team.
By the way, we lost the league by losing 1 game. Just letting you know.
I didn't ask about the past. I just asked about.
No. I know where you're going with it. I know where you're going with it. Not losing a game doesn't mean you're the best team in the league. Like,
being at the top 7 games
finish like 87 points, but then Chelsea beat your points record.
But bro, being at the top 7 games doesn't mean that either. So I was just doing the U thing, innit? Really.
Terry asked who's the best team at this very moment, bro.
I think
you generally think it's Liverpool, hand on heart.
Yeah, I genuinely do.
I've got again. I'm gonna agree with Ram. I can't lie. I think Liverpool have been far and away the best team in the Premier League so far. And partly is because right now they've probably got the best defense in the league. I know people love talking about Gabriel, Saliba, Calafiore, all these guys, but ultimately they've conceded 2 goals the whole season. All right, and 7 games in, that's very good. Now their attack's no joke. Is it the best? No, we've already had that discussion, but it's still a very good attack. Mo Salah's still getting, his output. So it's not like that they can't do anything. Gravenberch has probably been one of the best holding midfielders in the league. And one thing that they do have over Arsenal, discipline. They haven't played with 10 men twice. And I know, oh my God, yes, we didn't lose those games, blah, blah, blah. At the same time, is it a good thing you keep getting red cards? No, it's not. And they haven't, apart from the 1 game against Forest, which they dominated, but they just, well, not dominated, but they probably should have at least scored a goal to make it a draw, and they lost it. Apart from that 1 slip up, they've been the better team in every single game they played. So I'm actually going to agree with Ramsey. Liverpool are the best team.
I think you've got to apply more context here.
Yeah.
Arsenal played Villa, City, and Spurs. They've played 2 of those games with 10 men. Both when they had both men sent off, they were winning those games. Let's be real. And this isn't the Arsenal terrace or Henry talks Arsenal. This is just context. If Arsenal have 11 men against Brighton or 11 men against City, they probably would beat Brighton and score another couple of goals. And Man City had them on the ropes for 10 minutes, and City looked rattled. Liverpool have been phenomenal this season, and Terry and the panel will tell you, I've given them a lot of props. However, the only really difficult game they've played is Man United away. And by all means, they slapped them, and that should have been 4 or 5. But they've played Bournemouth at home, Forest at home, Wolves away, Ipswich away, and Brentford at home. Whereas Arsenal have played Villa away, Arsenal away, Spurs away. I think they've had the tougher games. But
the run is coming.
Liverpool's defensive record speaks for itself, and they've been very good. But I personally believe if Arsenal have 11 men on the pitch those 2 games, they're currently top of the league. And that's not Emery talks to Arsenal or the Arsenal terrace. That's just an opinion.
I would say on that though, when we played our game, we nullified their attack to almost nothing. I need to remind you guys, the goal that Callum Hudson-Odoi was a long shot. Let's remind us, outside of the box, which was a fantastic finish from Odoi. And Wolves' goal was down to a stupid error by our goalkeeper and our centre-back that gave them their goal. So realistically, the one goal that we conceded was down to a legitimately quality goal. The other goal was down to just a lapse in judgment, which rarely happens with our team. If you look at the overall play that we're playing, we limit teams to barely any good chances or any chances at all, and we still create our own chances and finish them to a decent extent. Not to the level.
Do you not think you should be doing that?
With the quality of opposition, you should be doing
that.
Have you seen the next 8 games?
Okay, let's talk about the next 8 games, because this is what I wanted to talk about. Liverpool have not fully been tested to the level to say they are the best team, or undoubtedly they've everything's amazing and everything's going to go in the right direction for the rest of the season. We haven't seen you face any of the original top 6 bar Manchester United, and the teams that you have played have not given you a good enough test. And the one team that the 2 teams that did, one of them, Crystal Palace, you guys were lucky to win that game, in my opinion. Should have been a potential penalty situation, and also those players didn't take their chances. But in the same time, I got to give you credit, because you guys did outplay majority of your opponents, and you get the job done by no matter means necessary. What we haven't spoken about yet is Alisson. Where is he going to be for the next 6 weeks? Unfortunately, he got injured, and he will be missing. That is a big part of your defense. Your defense is not just your 2 center backs. Your defense is not your fullbacks. Your goalkeeper is a big part of it also. And Alisson's probably one of the best goalkeepers in the league. So him missing for the next couple of games, which is going to be Chelsea, RB Leipzig away, Arsenal away, Brighton away, Brighton at home in the League Cup. And then you got Leverkusen, Aston Villa away. And then we go, I'm not even going to go any further than that. Just that right there is going to teach me what Liverpool is actually capable of. Post-international break, I do think Liverpool are going to start to drop points, and we're going to see a little bit of a mini crumble. I'm not saying massive crumble like they start losing every single game. No, we're just going to see them go from a team pre-international break, looked amazing defensively, and we're beating teams convincingly because the quality of those teams were very low compared to the teams that they're going to be playing now, where Chelsea, Chelsea's going to hit them for maybe a goal or 2. You're going to have Arsenal. You're going to have Arsenal hit you for a goal or 2. And we're going to have to see how you weather coming back in the game, how you weather having to come back. You haven't faced so many different types of adversity.
Can I ask you a question on that, Ram? I think everyone's making some valid points. I want to point that out. The league table is a barometer. And at the risk of sounding like a hypocrite, I always say the league table doesn't lie. However, my whole life, and I've definitely said this on streams, my dad would still slap me for even looking at a league table before 10 games. And I actually think you've also got to look at the fixtures. But 10 games, you normally within the first 10 games, everybody has played some really easy teams in contrast to some really hard teams. I think that is fair. But I would take nothing away from Liverpool. The question, I suppose, is this, Ram. Are you confident that this level of goal scoring and this level of defensive solidity is going to remain when you start playing Chelsea, when you start playing Arsenal, when you start playing City? Do you believe you will be as close to flawless as you have performed in these first 7 games? Do you believe that will happen right now?
I mean, in that run, I wouldn't say we'll be completely flawless, because just we're playing 3 games a week against really tough opponents. Like we're going to, I think we're going Leipzig away at that same point. We're going Leverkusen. We've got Madrid at the same time, sandwiched in between Southampton and Man City. So I can't guarantee that it will be a flawless victory during those 8 games. But I will say that I don't expect the levels to drop massively compared from the first 7 games that we played. I still think we will play quality football. I still think we will dominate majority of our games, especially I wouldn't say Man City. Man City will always dominate games to an extent. Madrid at the same
Arsenal
time.
away.
Sorry?
Arsenal away.
Sorry, I forgot about Arsenal. Egal. Again, I was going to tell them that, but, I respect you guys. But majority of the games that we're playing against, like the likes of Leipzig, Chelsea, even to an extent Bayer Leverkusen, I think we should be dominating the games, in my opinion. But I don't expect the performances to drop any further than expected. I think we will play some really good football and we will be a problem for majority of the top teams.
Yeah, I just want to call you out on your wording because I want to make sure we get a straight answer. I think you're trying to be... You said don't expect it to drop, but do you think it will drop?
No. I mean, even in our worst period last season, we still didn't drop those levels. So why should I expect them to drop it this season?
No, I get that. Because the reason I ask is just...
level.
1 second ago. The reason I ask is because language is important. Because, again, I expect Man United to get better after the international break, but I don't think we will. So I want to point out, like, expecting something and what you think will actually happen can be different. Sorry, over to you, Egal. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, he said they didn't drop levels last year. If I'm not mistaken, Liverpool did drop levels after they lost to Arsenal. They lost to Manchester United in the Europa League, in the FA Cup. Also, they lost to Crystal Palace, and then they went on a massive spree of dropping points in the back end of last season. They even dropped points to Everton, where they lost to them at Goodison Park for the first time in a long time. You dropped points to Aston Villa near the last couple of games of the season last year, also away at Villa, and that was pretty much goodbye to any single chance of even trying to win a league.
Lover. Goodbye,
Yeah,
my friend.
Well,
Don't make it seem like we haven't seen this same group of players last year crumble at the back end of the season.
But we also saw these same group of players that rose up when things looked really bleak at the same time. You get both of them, Miguel. Like winning an FA Cup when Chelsea were deemed favourites and you had majority of your starting players out of the team. Like we've seen backup players
You
step
mean League Cup?
It's still a cup fight. It's still a cup. One more than you won last season, Egal.
No. I was just correcting you on which trophy you were talking about.
What did I not say?
United won the
that's the FA Cup.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, League Cup. But either way, we've seen both sides of the coin. But I believe with these players, and you could argue the style of play that we're playing was just unbearable to an extent that it had a massive effect on the players.
Wouldn't you also make a case that Arne Slot coming in, new manager, not a lot of sample size to study him and to understand what Liverpool are doing. Now that we have 7 games into the season, teams can kind of maybe figure out a little bit better. You have better quality you're going to be facing, and maybe Arne Slot had a little bit of a new manager influence on the players, the team, everyone getting in the right direction. But eventually, once you face adversity, that's where you're going to really be showing who you are. Similar to Chelsea a little bit now.
Can I stop you a minute, Egal? Can I stop you a minute? Answer that question yourself. What do you're asking it as a question on the fact that
I genuinely believe they are going to crumble, and not like a bad situation, but I do think this is currently a new manager. He is getting the best out of these players. A lot of these players are invigorated to try to show the manager what they're capable of doing, like a Luis Diaz, getting the best out of him. But for how long? Once you do face a higher level of quality, once you do have a little bit more adversity, I do think Liverpool are going to have to weather that storm. And they haven't shown us under this new manager how they're going to bounce back to adversity. So I want to see that before I start crowning them title contenders or crowning them the best team in the league, because we witnessed the same thing with Tottenham last year. Last year, Tottenham were on 17 points at this point of the season. They were crowning Tottenham league title challengers. And guess what happened? The second half of the season, after the 10th game, they resorted back to the mean.
Why have we got to be brought into this?
No, because it's true. Last year, the first 10 games, you guys were flawless. And then the next 28, you guys fell off a cliff. Or you resorted to a 50-50 record, whatever you want to say.
Is this current Liverpool team better than that Tottenham team from last season?
They are, but the situation is similar. And I just want to show you guys.
Have we got winners in our team, Egal?
You do, but at the same time, you still have the same questions.
No, but I can throw that question back at you, being like, have teams really seen what Arne Slot can do? Because everything seems great, but have they seen him change his tactics? Has they seen him work out the way he's doing? Because compared to Klopp, he has a plan B, he has a plan C, he also has a plan D. Like he has a lot more ideas. And
show it to us.
I don't want to get any wrong ideas for the Liverpool fans. I love Jurgen, but as a tactician,
he's shit.
Arne Slot has a lot more strings.
Show us how you play away from home.
Hang on, KJ's backstage. Just clip that up. Ram said Klopp's tactics was shit. Clip that up.
No, but to be fair, like Jurgen Klopp turned a lot of the matches into like a basketball game where they were just outscoring teams. That they look a lot more structured at the moment. You can say they haven't played anyone, but you'll just turn around and say, well, you can only play what's in front of you. But I do think there will be some drop off. I don't think they'll crumble. I just don't think that if they come through the next 10 games with, let's say, 8 or 9 wins and a couple of draws, then we need to start showing this Liverpool team serious respect. But when you look at the Arsenals and the Cities of the world, City have gone to Chelsea away. We've played Arsenal at home. Arsenal have gone to City away, Villa away, and Spurs away, and they're there or thereabouts. I just want to see Liverpool do that now because the other two have played multiple. I mean, even Spurs are like, if we win a few games, we're not okay. We are miles away, but we're still close to top 4. It can all change 2 or 3 games. If you come back from international break, Chelsea do you at Anfield, but then again, if you beat Chelsea, it's different stories. It's just boots on the floor.
No, but Henry, that's not the point. The whole point was Terry asked me who is the best team in the league. I said categorically,
well, factually, it's you.
Yeah,
I just haven't played anyone.
It's just that. Yeah, but Henry. How many times have we been on streams on like Thursday night going through previews saying that people have been saying that the teams that we're playing are potential banana skins?
Yeah, facts. And you've gone out the other end. Other than Forest, you've gone out and you've. Like you're managing games better. I don't think if Jurgen Klopp's managing this team, by the way, you win 9 out your first 10 games. Possibly. And I'm not saying he's a better manager, Arne Slot, but it's a completely different approach to the game.
But we don't know. He probably might have the same record as Slot. We would never know. But at the end of the day, you can play what's in front of you, but it's also you got to use context within each game. And back-to-back streams, people have been telling me, but a potential banana skin. Oh, Liverpool shouldn't take this team lightly. They will actually do something against them. And we've all come out with flying colours. The only team where we actually didn't take them seriously was Nottingham Forest. And that's where we actually lost the game.
Do you know what? I'm going to be really boring in this debate. I'm going to be so boring and just say, look, I don't think you're going to collapse. I don't think you'll be as flawless as you have been against the smaller teams. But I also don't believe that you're going to lose all these games to these big sides. I don't know which ones yet, because I don't think those games are... I sort of look at Liverpool right now, Chelsea right now. I do think Arsenal and City, if you're all playing your optimum best, I just think they're marginally better than the two of you. That's based, if you look at my predictions for the season, I have those two teams slightly above you, so there's nothing new there. But Liverpool have the capabilities of beating all of these sides they're coming up against soon. The likelihood they're going to win all these next 7-8 fixtures is unlikely, because most clubs don't do that when you play that level of opposition. But I think that by the time all these next 8 games finish, I don't think the difference in league position, I'm talking now, between City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Villa and Chelsea is going to be that wide. I don't think Chelsea are going to fall off or Villa are going to fall off by 7-8 points. I don't think that Liverpool are going to lose most of those games and look average. I think that you're going to all take points off of each other. So again, when we get nearer the games, we see who's fit and who's available. I actually look at it right now. I think we're almost the Premier League right now feels like it's almost as good and as competitive at the top as it was between sort of 2004 and sort of 2012, 2013, that period where every single one of those seasons, there was a genuine chance that our top 4 in the Prem, as it was back then, could win the Champions League. There was an argument at the start of every season as to why each of those teams could win the Premier League. And most of us were in the race for some part of that season. I think we're the closest to that we have been. What's really interesting is you're then going to actually see that the points totals of most of the big sides are probably going to go back to that stage of like low to mid 80s to win the league. Doesn't mean they're worse teams than 4 or 5 years ago. Just means that there's a bigger group of teams at a higher level. So mathematically speaking, the points are spread out a little bit more. So I just think that the way I hear a lot of people talking about this is I know how good City are. I know how good Arsenal are. I think Liverpool are in and around that level. I really do. I really do think you're in and around that level.
You're like, forget the quality of players that we've got. Like, we still got world-class Van Dijk. We still got Mo Salah. We still got Trent Alexander-Arnold. We still got Alisson before he got injured, but we still got Alexis McAllister. Like, there's still top quality players.
Next season, you right though. Next season, when Trent, Mo Salah, and Van Dijk leave, jeez.
I think
we got Ibrahim Konate playing like a ball playing defender.
Everything's looking good for Liverpool right now, but I do believe come the end of the season, Arsenal and Man City will have more to weather the storms and will have more problem solving to get them throughout the season and to finish maybe 8 or 10 points above Liverpool come the end of the season. Yeah, the two teams that are going to be in the title race are going to finish 8 to 10 points ahead of Liverpool that are going to come in third place, in my opinion.
I think Liverpool 10 points ago.
Yeah, I think Liverpool will at some point in the season drop off in the title race, and Arsenal and City will be fighting it out, and Liverpool will be securing top 3.
How many points last year did Arsenal and City finish above Liverpool?
I think 8 points.
6 to 8 points.
Hang on. I'll just go check before we start guessing. I've got it up now. So Arsenal finished. What's the difference between 5 and 9? Sorry, 2 and 9. 7 points. My brain. I looked at it. My brain just went, "Nah, mate. I ain't telling you what."
So I'm estimating. 7. So I'm basically estimating.
Hang on. So yeah, it was 9 points behind City and 7 points behind Arsenal.
I think it'd be closer than that. I think it'd be within 5 points.
City and Arsenal will drop a couple of points, but we'll drop maybe 1 or 2, I'd say.
I think the title race will be in and around the same situation as last year or worse for Liverpool.
So you think Slot's going to be better than Klopp?
Huh? I don't think Arne Slot has shown us anything to say that he's going to have a better finish.
That's what I mean. I'm asking, why do you think Slot's going to be better than Klopp? Because by your logic, it's going to be tighter.
What do you mean? I know. Well, I said as a tactician, he has plan B, plan C, plan D compared to
not the plan D, bro. I know what you mean by that.
No, but you know what I mean. But Jurgen Klopp, one thing, I love what Jurgen did for us, built the club up and everything. But when we were at our peak, we never. It felt as though we never had a plan B or a different style of play that we can rely on. I think with Arne Slot, you're seeing it here and there when we needed it to be, but he does have a plan B and he does have different ideas of how we can play. Bring on certain players to play a specific style.
But wasn't it your subs that lost you against Forest?
Huh?
His tactical substitutions lost you that match against Forest.
A little bit, but people can learn from their mistakes. And also, it's not only him. The players, every single player decided they wanted to be like Steven Gerrard and pass the ball 40 yards and kick it out of play. That's not on him. You can't.
So you think you currently have the best team in the league, and you believe your squad is good enough and better than Arsenal's or City's?
I wouldn't say best team in the league. I've said it at the start of the season. You guys are the best team in the league. But I think I think we're close. That's why I was a little bit pissed off about this window, because we are close. But you guys still have the best team in the league.
So do you believe Arne Slot's a better manager than Arteta? Is that why?
I think people will start to really see how good of a manager he is. I think people don't know who he's about because of what he's done in the Eredivisie, and not many people knew about him, but he is a very, very good manager. Whether he's shown it is a different story, but I think he's a good quality manager.
No. I didn't ask you if he's a good manager. I asked you, do you think he is the person to bridge the gap, and you think he's better than Arteta? Hence why you're putting his team better than Arteta.
Yeah, I think he's definitely the manager that can bridge the gap, 100%.
Is he better than Arteta?
At this very moment, Arteta's shown, and that he's shown that he's better. But I think at the end of the season, people will start to put a lot of respect on Arne Slot.
So do you think Arne Slot's better? Yes or no?
He needs to get past his run first, bro.
So you don't think Arne Slot's better than Arteta? You don't think you don't think Liverpool have a better squad than Arsenal, but yet you still think you can win the league? Fair.
Yeah, because it's all margins, Egal. All that
you could collapse, Egal.
Or 3 points behind us.
No, I hear that, but he's saying Man City and Arsenal have better squads, have better managers, but he still thinks Liverpool can win.
It's marginally. How many times I have to tell you? It's marginally. The only thing that if I'm looking at quality managers and what they've done, I think there's a case to be had that Arne Slot is a better manager. But do you know what?
Devil's advocate here. I think what Ram's saying that makes sense is the one thing Liverpool have to their advantage over Arsenal is they have a lot of players in their squad that have won the major trophies. And if let's just say you get to the last 6 games, and there's 3 or 4 points separating you all, the one thing that Arsenal don't have is the know-how of getting over that line. And I think it changes something within you. Those Liverpool players may click into some sort, just like City do, click into some sort of autopilot during that stage because they've been there, they've been in those games, they've felt that anxiety, and they've come out the other end. So I don't think it's beyond the realms of possibility that Liverpool finish above Arsenal this year. I think all 3 of you are going to be really, really close this campaign, and I've got a horrible feeling about Liverpool.
There will be no chance. I don't think there's no chance I'm going to sit on any stream and say that if Liverpool finish above Arsenal this season, I will be extremely shocked, and I think that would be a disappointment because nobody besides Man City is on our level.
Can I add something to that, Egal? I said this earlier in the top 6 chat. If Arne Slot finishes above Arsenal in his first season, would you sack Arteta?
If they go on to win the league, yes. Because
let's say you finished 3rd, they finish 2nd, and City win the league. Would you sack Arteta?
Depends what we do in other cups. But really and
you
truly,
don't win anything.
Really and truly, Arne Slot and Liverpool will not finish above Arsenal.
No,
they don't have the squad. And if they do, I'm answering your question. And if they do, we will have to take a real hard look at Arteta after that, because it's a situation where a new manager has come in and has found himself with no major injuries, no crazy things happening to lead us to that context, and just the 2 teams mano a mano. If he manages to finish above Arteta, that would be a sackable offense. I don't think Liverpool are better.
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that because you don't think he's a better manager and you think you got a better squad. Therefore, if he outcoaches your manager to a higher position in the league, other Arsenal fans don't need to advocate for this. But if you think that, how could you want a manager to stay who's been pipped by someone that you think?
If Liverpool win the league this season, Arteta would probably have the biggest. That would be the biggest indictment on his career, because Liverpool team is not better than our team.
Let me ask you. Sorry.
Liverpool's squad is not better than our squad. And if Liverpool somehow, Arne Slot in his first season overtakes Arteta, not only challenges for the leagues and wins it, then we have to have serious discussions. And Trimless, even you have to agree with me.
Just before Trimless comes in, just one question. You said something there about squad and teams. So if you were to do I don't want to do a combined 11 right now. Actually, I want to throw a question out there. How many Liverpool players right now get in that Arsenal 11?
6.
So if your squad is better, your manager's better, so you're taking 4. So which 4 players are you taking?
Who are you talking to, Trimless?
Trimless, yeah.
Salah, Arnold.
So sorry, Trent.
Bro, I'm not.
At the moment, you got no Odegaard.
You really have McAllister hype to yourself, bro. I'm not on that thing still.
He starts ahead of Marino, bro. I'm being serious.
Yeah, of course he does.
How many Liverpool players get in the?
I think if we do 11, it's quite close. But when you go deeper, it's a drop off for Liverpool. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, but just on the 11.
Just for you'd find a way to play Salah and Saka in the same team. I think Havertz would get into the team.
Don't do this.
At this point, right now, I would say which centre back would get dropped.
What about Alisson? Is Alisson getting?
No, Van Dijk displaces either one of those two the centre backs.
Trent?
Yeah, of course. It'd be Van Dijk, Saliba, of course.
It would be Van Dijk, Saliba, or Van Dijk, Gabriel. Trent is in. Left back, I'm putting in whichever left back of ours you want to put in. None of their left backs really been that good.
What about Alisson? Is Alisson in there?
Alisson, yeah. You know what? You could make a case that Alisson and Raya have both been both our defenses have been so good. It's so close, but Alisson is the better keeper. And then so overall, probably 5. The only other person I'll put in is if we go Declan Rice, McAllister, and Odegaard midfield.
No, Gravenberch.
No.
He's been
like Declan Rice is still a better player than Declan Rice is still a better player than Gravenberch.
Yeah, I know. It's only 7 games. I know it's only small sample size, but I was just asking.
He's probably been the most improved player this season. Give it to him.
Fairs.
Why does it have to be a sly on Arteta if Arne Slot wins it?
because then not only did Liverpool replace Jurgen Klopp, they overtook Arsenal, that has been in the title race for 2 years, and beat us to the title. It's a situation where Arteta has been questioned if he can get over the line. And if we have a new manager come in and overtake him, I'm going to have questions on Arteta. Even though I back the guy and I fully believe he's going to do it, if that were to happen, that hypothetical, I would have a lot of questions about how we got to that stage.
Can I say one? If Slot wins the league title this season, that's the most impressive debut season I have ever seen from a guy that took over. I don't want to say Liverpool's Alex Ferguson. Yeah, but they didn't start. They only signed one player in the window because you can't count Georgi Mamardashvili, whatever his name is, because he's not there. So I only bring in Chiesa, who I think has played 34 Premier League minutes or so.
But on top of that, how much of a damning indictment would that be for Klopp's last couple of years?
Don't you dare! It's
a fair question. No, hang on. And I'm playing devil's advocate here. Arteta gets ridiculed for winning an FA Cup with somebody else's team. If Slot comes in and beats both these teams the league title in his first year in the Premier League, based on the Arteta didn't really win the FA Cup, Unai Emery did, surely that's a negative indictment on Klopp, who couldn't get into the title race at the end of the season with this same very squad for 2 years, 3 years.
Well, context has to be applied, Terry. If it's the case,
context now for Jurgen. Let's go.
But Terry, you know, I don't do all this to Arteta nonsense, yeah. But I will still say it was Unai Emery's team, so technically this is Klopp's team. So if Slot wins the league, it's Klopp's team. Yeah,
well, exactly. If Slot wins it this year and he didn't really buy any new players, it's not really Slot's trophy, is it? It's imagine Man United sack Ten Hag. Imagine, I would love to sack him. Imagine that, Tuchel comes in and wins 2 trophies. I mean, are they really Tuchel's? I don't know how it works anymore. But look, I understand why. I think you've got to contextualize it. If Slot wins it, if you sack him, because if Arsenal were to get 95 points and come second by a point, but win other trophies, again, I think you have to look at that. But I do understand the frustration. If you've got closer and closer and closer, some new dude comes along and goes, boom, and wins it. That would hurt. I get why that would hurt.
Wenger did that. He won in his second season, right?
Conte did it as well, didn't he? He took him from 10th to 1st.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to look at... Yeah,
that was Conte's first season. So.
Conte's debut season was amazing. I think Wenger won it in his second season, as an example. I mean, debut-wise...
Did he win the FA Cup in his first season?
Fergie's debut Premier League season, he won the league. Just putting it out there.
It was already 4 or 5 years.
I know. I'm
joking. The last manager of Liverpool to do that is Bob Paisley. That's won the league in his first season as manager. I think he won the double.
Jose's first season. It can't be overlooked. Yeah, I mean, Jose's first season as Chelsea manager, was that the season they got the record for the goals conceded?
But then I would say Arne Slot's achievement is a lot better because compared to the manager that they had before, or the season
I don't know about that.
It would
no. The season before, this is what people forget. This is what people forget about the season before that, where they won the league and got 95 points and 15 goals conceded. The season before that, Ranieri's Chelsea came second in the league. Yes, they were 11 points behind Arsenal, but that was the invincible season. So they actually had a very good season the year before. We're a Champions League team. Were for a period, we're in title contention, but Arsenal just didn't fucking lose. On any normal year, they could have won the league that season. So, again, context is what I would say about all the debut seasons we're talking about. Nobody really took over from a bad team that hadn't been in and around.
That's true.
It wasn't his first season in the Premier League. It wasn't as though one of these guys has taken over. For instance, if Tuchel takes over now and we went on to win the league, again, that's a bad one because he's not his debut. If we brought in Almiron now and he went on to win the league, I think that would trump anybody's debut season because where we are, all those other guys are good, but they took over teams that were also really, really good. And that's one thing I'd say about Liverpool. As good as it would be for Slot, and it would be a great achievement, there's no doubt. I said it all summer. Your team, your squad isn't dead like everyone's making out. Like you're in some kind of rebuild. It's mad.
But Terry, good team. Compare it to like when Jose came in, everyone was scared. Everyone was scared when Jose came in to manage Chelsea. When Conte went into Chelsea, people were like, "Oh, Chelsea got themselves a good manager." this season, I mean, Egal's a prime example. They don't really rate Arne Slot.
No,
he hasn't got the background for it. That's why.
He hasn't got the aura. I get that, but I can only speak from I can see it objectively from other people's perspectives, but from a subjective point of view, from a passionate point of view, I said you guys would be in the title race this year. All summer I said it, and I thought if you'd have had a better summer and bought more players, you might even been my tip to win it. I felt like this was a really good team under Klopp that went stale because Klopp lost his energy, and I'm not digging Klopp out. I think I've seen this in real life, in leadership, when people just get bored of their job. A change is as good as a rest. And I think your team looks revitalized because someone new has come in. But this is a team that was pushing this great City side to the limits. This is a team that 2 years ago, 3 years ago, nearly won a quadruple. You don't go from being a team nearly win a quadruple to awful 18 months, 2 years later. You don't. Your manager just lost his mojo. He became a bit of an impotent manager. And you've now got a new stud who's come in. Let's do some of these super chats here. Big up, Kloppy. Ranieri won the league first season with Leicester. No, but it wasn't his debut season in the Premier League, is the claim that's being made. We have no bench. Egal, what are you smoking?
I think some people we disagree on the quality of the players we have on our bench.
Conte won when Chelsea came 10th the last season. Yes, but let's be honest. The season before that team group won the league. It was a terrible year, but it wasn't a bad team. It wasn't like, say, Man United right now. We haven't even challenged for the title in 11 years. You were league title winners like a year before that. Hi, Terry. I'm a Chelsea fan. I love and follow the Arsenal terrace always. Big up yourself. Big up yourself. Ram, Arsenal are the better team. Also, Ram, combined 11 has 6 Liverpool players.
Clearly, you haven't been listening to me for the last couple of weeks. How many times have I said Arsenal got the best squad in the league? Better than City.
Cash money. Thank you, Char. I love winding Ram up. It's because I've known him such a long time. He's a good friend of mine. This Liverpool is the same as this Liverpool the same as the one that won 5 years ago? It's been 5 years. Fucking hell.
Yeah, but they been there and done it. And there's still people say that our players are world class. Van Dijk, Ali, Maka, Salah.
Yeah, but how many players have you still got?
Wait, McAllister's world class? In what world?
Hey, Egal, that's the agenda. What are you doing?
So if you have that many, how many world class players do you have?
Let the agenda achieve, bro. Just let it.
I think they got maximum 4 world class players: Alisson, Van Dijk, Salah, and I think there's an argument for Trent.
Trent is well.
No, there is no
Trent
argument.
Current
world-class players.
I think the only right back I'd have over him is Carvajal.
Current world-class players.
Not now, you wouldn't. Oh, did you see that injury? Oh my God,
nasty.
Did you hear him crying? It was so sad.
Yeah, if your knee bent like that, you'd be balling, bro. We all would.
He's probably the best right back in the world.
When I done my knee fighting, I was in a Thai boxing. It was literally like it was an inter-club Thai boxing event. I did a low kick. The man checked it right on my knee, and my knee just bent that way, same way. And that pain. The fight was only about 20 seconds old, and all I remember laying on the floor feeling the pain. I thought I was going to look down to the bone sticking out my leg, and then I just remember the sweat. That's the weirdest memory I have, is just the sweat coming off me because of the pain. And then I kind of half passed out, like the pain, literally everything my knee went. So yeah, that's awful when that happens, and that's why I never became a professional fighter. No, I didn't become a professional
when you do
fighter.
your ACL, you're crying.
I'm surprised they showed it. Surprised they showed it because
I'm not gonna lie, I'm a bit weird like that. I don't like to see anybody get hurt, but I've got a weird obsession with seeing injuries. I'm sort of like they intrigue me. I'm like, I want to see it.
There was an injury in the NFL last year. The whole stadium gasped when they seen it on the Tron. They didn't even show it on TV.
The one I saw in the NFL years ago, I thought it was the NFL or maybe a college ball, but they're all like high level.
Yeah, the basketball player.
No. It was football. This American football player, he caught the ball and was running, and he ran to the end. Normally they have like pads they can jump into. For some reason, there was like a bench that was low down, and his shin hit it, and then his leg just like wrapped around it. It was like, oh my God. But yeah, it's a weird, not fetish or anything. Just I don't even like watching it. I just have to see it. I'm a bit strange like that. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I want to see it. I'm weird like that. I think it's because I'm not squeamish. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, anyway, Slotter's proven himself. Arteta is a proven bottler. Do Liverpool have better individual players than Arsenal?
Arguably, yeah.
4 of them.
Are we talking about
Certain
11 or are we
players.
talking about squad?
Just bet. I think overall just means players. Yeah.
I think
Four
Arsenal
players
have a
better.
better squad than Liverpool.
But if you're looking at individual players of the whole squad, then I think Arsenal is better. But again, like I'll say the team, if I'm fighting 11, I wouldn't say that the same thing.
Honestly,
But
it's
the
subjective
squad
based
team.
on how highly you rate Arsenal's players.
I think Liverpool's players. I think Arsenal are set up better, but I think
Yeah.
I think Liverpool got more match winners.
Fair enough.
The real McCoy says, Wasteman Ram. Wasteman Ram, you know. England have no world-class players. This here says, same corresponding matches last year. Liverpool won 7 from 7, taking Burnley, Sheffield in place of Ipswich. This is fair. This is fair. Arsenal have conceded 3 goals against Leicester and Southampton. We have to at least acknowledge Liverpool have the best defense at the moment. Do you know what's interesting? The stats are the stats, and then they don't lie. But you know what's crazy is that, say, against Man United, Xerxes missed 2 chances, which I think accumulated to like 1.3 XG, right? Were massive chances that he should have scored both. Where Arsenal conceded 2 goals against Leicester with a combined XG of 0.03. So there is an element here where you say, yes, on goals conceded, you can make the argument. But when you watch the games, I'm being honest with you, there is very little difference. And I've seen some people say, you know, we conceded lots of chances against Southampton and Leicester, and if their shooting was better, they'd have scored more goals. Well, just take the Man United game against Liverpool. We could have scored 3 or 4 goals in that game. Doesn't mean you couldn't have scored 3 or 4 more yourself. But that's why you have to watch the game with your eyes and then be honest about all teams. I have this theory that I don't think people watch as much football as I do anyway, because I watch all of the top 6 games, and I see people make that claim about Arsenal, and I'm like, well, that's because you watch all of Arsenal's games. You clearly haven't watched all of Liverpool's. They've got a brilliant defensive record, but one of the reasons it's so high, and Ram will back me on this, is because their goalie also makes a lot of brilliant saves as well. And I think that you have to factor that in sometimes. It isn't just the defense, it's also the goalkeeper. We've already done that comment there. I want to big up Marshan29 for your comment earlier on today. Thank you very, very much. Compared to Bruno, yeah, I was only going to mess around when doing that. Why are we acting like Arsenal fans are divided over this? 95% of Gooners and Arteta know Odegaard would start whenever he is available. Speaking of players and stuff, who's best player? Who are the best players in the Premier? Who's the best player in the Premier League right now? We've just seen Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer just won the England Player of the Year, which has triggered a lot of people. But who are the top 3 players in the Premier League? Right, we're going to do top 3 Premier League players so far this season. Let's go.
Virgil van Dijk's got to be there.
Hang on, let's start with Henry, because otherwise we'll all talk over each other.
Cole Palmer, Erling Haaland. This season?
Come on, Henry.
This season so far.
Yeah, Virgil or I probably would put Gravenberch third. I think he's been without him, that midfield completely crumbles. I think that midfield completely crumbles. But you could there's an argument for Saliba, there's an argument for Saka, there's an argument for Van Dijk. No, probably Palmer, Van Dijk, and Haaland. They've been the best 3. Closely followed by, there's an honourable mention for about 5 players.
Ram, if you put McAllister in there, it's actually beef, bro. Big man.
No, I'm looking at the comments. They're so triggered about that McAllister comment.
I
don't understand. Like, is that a reasonable ranking? That's not in order, by the way. That's just the players: Palmer, Haaland, Van Dijk.
That's
my
ranking.
I hear it.
I think, but just on that Cole Palmer award, that is I'm not triggered by it. But how Jude Bellingham did not win that award is an absolute disgrace.
Oh,
La Liga player of the year.
No, it ain't.
Yeah. Okay, let me just give you the argument.
I don't give a shit about rating in La Liga. It's England Player of the Year.
Right.
Okay. Last minute goal against Slovakia. Let's not do that.
For England.
For
More
England,
goal
yes.
contributions than Palmer.
Don't
right?
care.
Champions League. Okay, by that logic, then
Did he play in the Champions League for England?
No. Yeah, but
What have we turned into the Chelsea terrace now, Terry? Come on.
No. Do you know why? Do you know why he won it? I do get the argument he didn't deserve it. Do you know why? England, for the vast majority of the last 12 months, as a collective, we've been shit. We have. Right? As a collective, results have been bad, not been great. You've got to remember when people vote on these things, they don't do, and I don't mean that we are not superior on opinions to any other normal fan. I don't believe that. The difference is, though, we do the shows, we do more research, we get challenged more, we learn more from each. One of the biggest reasons I started this platform is so we could all learn from each other in different points of view. A lot of people vote, and they just vote based on their short-term memory. And if you think as an England fan, short-term memory of the 2 or 3 good moments that have happened in the last year, I am not surprised that Cole Palmer comes on top. Set up the goal in the semi-final that sent us into raptures. And he did, in the biggest game, one of the biggest games for England ever, scored a goal that equalized us and gave us all hope. I absolutely understand why he was voted for by the fans, because yes, Bellingham had a great opening game and that goal against Slovakia, but Bellingham had a really poor tournament overall. He went missing in loads of games. The season before, when Saka won it, of course he was going to win it. The man teared up the World Cup. The average England fan thinking about who deserves it goes, oh, Saka. You know, Saka at the World Cup. Football fans remember moments. They're not sitting there like, say, fan content creators do. Even the viewers who are watching, they watch a lot of football and then they come to our shows. Most football fans don't do that. Most football fans are watching the game here, game there. The game finishes, they turn it off and put on Emmerdale. And they remember the moments. So I just think people have got to realize that he's won it because he had some really good moments for England. And I'm not saying he's the most deserving, but I totally understand it. Like, people are getting really triggered about it. Like, you probably wanted Kane to win it because you're Spurs. Arsenal wanted Saka to win it.
Say Kane.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're like.
By that logic, by that logic, Harry Kane scores the winner against Slovakia.
Stinker. He had a stinker of a tournament.
Goal scorer.
Stinker. But memory.
That's how good Kane is. At his worst level, he's still our top goal scorer.
Yes, but people remember him stinking out most of them games. People remember Palmer coming on and changing it. It's the moments.
Yeah, but
fans remember moments.
Changing it. That if Jude doesn't get that goal against Slovakia, we don't get anywhere near that final.
But fans remember that whole game, how bad he and Kane and everybody else were to all them goals.
I mean, there's an argument for Palmer, but if we're talking,
just say I'm right. Just say I'm right.
No,
I'm joking.
It's the whole
One
year.
second, Terry. Is it only based on England performances? Because I'm thinking they're voting for him because he's performing well.
Maybe. Well, again, it's meant to be, but you are right. Maybe there's a lot of Chelsea fans voted as well. Maybe people are thinking about
the same level. If we're talking club level, Jude assists the Vinny's goal in the Champions League final, La Liga Player of the Year, 28 goal contributions from midfield /10, wins La Liga, and player of Real Madrid.
Are you forgetting something though, Henry?
How many goals did he win the Prem?
Yeah, but how many average day-to-day England fans are watching La Liga regularly?
Yeah, but everyone watches the Champions League, and when you see
no, again, it's, let's say they're now voting on what people did at club level. Is it not conceivable? Just tell me if it's conceivable that the average England fan saw and watched Cole Palmer play and perform more last season than Jude Bellingham in a league that they don't watch.
Yeah.
That's why this is. It's not even it's not an agenda. I'm just saying we are ignoring the logic behind it, and getting it wrong. I get why Palmer won it. I do. I'm not saying that he was the most deserving. By the way, I'd have given it to Mark Gahey. That's who I would have voted for because he was our best player at the Euros. He was the only guy that was consistent in every single game that he played. Mark Gahey, he deserved it. Everybody else either didn't play enough or was up and down, but I get it. But back to the actual point of the show, top 3 players in the Premier League right now, Egal.
Bukayo Saka, Cole Palmer, Erling Haaland. Very simple. And I think anybody...
In what order from best to third?
Best would be Erling Haaland. Second would be Bukayo Saka. Third would be Cole Palmer. Number 1, Cole Palmer and Erling Haaland are performing in Europe and in the league. Let's not.
Is this just Premier League or is this Premier League?
1 second. This is the best players.
This is so far this season in all the competitions they play.
Consistently, week in, week out, Saka and Haaland are not only performing in a Premier League level, they're performing in the Champions League. Let's be honest, Cole Palmer has been given the season off for the whole group stages or league stages in the Conference League. So that is a factor, number one. Number two, if we're going to talk about statistics, those are the 3 players who have the highest output out of any player in the league. I'm not putting any defenders in there. I'm just saying right now, who are the match winners? Who are the biggest players in this league? Erling Haaland, number 1. Number 2, Bukayo Saka. And number 3, Cole Palmer. And if you were to say who are the 3 faces of the league right now this season, those are the 3 guys you probably think of the most when you think of the league right now. And I think it's fair to put it in that order. And the reason why I have Cole Palmer in there third, it's not solely because of the GA. You can put him higher than Saka and Haaland. What is he doing week in, week out? He's performing, but is he asked to perform midweek? No. But yeah, that's my main reasoning. If anyone disagrees, please tell me why.
Do you know Mohamed Salah's actually got more goal contributions this season than Palmer and Saka?
Fair enough. But Mohamed Salah's not spoken about week in, week out. The factor is,
but reality, he is. He's just not as praised.
He's not. Saka, Cole Palmer are the talking points every single day because they are performing at the age that they are at a high level. Mo Salah has performed at a better level than this that he's performing at now in the past. You could say Mo Salah should be in that category, but I was asked for top 3, not top 4, not top 5. The last 2 games, where was Mo Salah?
Well, didn't he get the winner against Wolves,
bro?
Did he?
He got the winner against Wolves.
I might be mistaken. But regardless, I still believe I would have Saka, Cole Palmer, and Foden ahead of not Foden. Foden is not even top 15 right now, the way he's performing. But I'll put Saka, I'll put Palmer, Saka, and Haaland in that order. So Haaland number 1, Saka number 2, Palmer number 3.
I take the same 3, but in a different order. In it, I'd say Palms first, then Saka, then Haaland, only because of, as you said, the consistency over the period of games. And I hear what you say about Van Dijk, but for me, again, I just don't think Liverpool have faced any opposition.
You put Saka this season above Erling Haaland?
That's mad.
No,
I did.
Wait, you put Saka first?
No. Egal said you said Haaland, Saka, Palmer. What did you say? You said
I'm saying Palmer, Saka, Haaland.
Haaland in third.
I don't think he's done anything like for me to say that he deserves to want to be top.
Got 11 goals.
Yeah, but it's Haaland.
He's got like 11 goals, I swear.
Yeah, but that's standard. Like we say, it's Haaland, isn't it? Like there's no other player.
Yeah, but if you're doing it for Mo Salah, why can't I do it for Haaland?
Because he's scored 10. Well, he's got 10 goals in 7 games.
Yeah,
that is
we know this,
crazy numbers.
But no one, people are.
Yeah, but hang on. There is an argument because you can do it for Salah because he's been doing it for 7-8 years and he's 32. Haaland is the same age as Saka.
Bro,
that's what's mad.
I'm just saying.
Palmer is the same age as both of them.
That's
sorry?
Palmer and they're all the same age.
Palmer's a year younger.
Is he?
That's what's mad. People forget Haaland 22, 23, and he's already got nearly 200 goals in his career.
People can say man shameless, but for me, Haaland is getting on the end of things and scoring goals, cool. But Saka's driving his team forward. When Odegaard's not there, he's stepping up, he's getting assists, like he's making things pop. So that's just my opinion why I'm going to say Saka. You look at the match. I don't do the match ratings thing, but Saka's on an 8.11, and neither Palmer or Haaland are on 7s. I'm just saying, like, nothing I'm saying here is crazy. Like, I hear what you're saying about he's got 10 goals, cool, but yes, we know Haaland gets on the end of things. Saka's driving my team forward week in, week out. He's winning this game. So that's just mad. Let
me play devil's advocate on that. Right?
And I still said Palmer. So if I'm being shameless, why would I say Palmer first? That makes sense. Yeah.
If Real Madrid or Bayern Munich right now could sign one player, would they choose sign Haaland or Saka?
Real Madrid, I think, might pick Saka because they look very unbalanced right now. With everyone drumming to the left hand side.
You say that, Terry. Mbappe could play on the right and Haaland in the middle. It stops people going forward.
That's why I picked Real Madrid because there's an argument there.
There's an argument. Yeah, listen. Again, would Bayern Munich prefer Saka on the right, or would they replace Kane with Haaland? Did you say Bayern Munich? Or am I tipping? Yeah,
that's what I said because obviously
I think the top 3 have been. It's hard actually because I think Gravenberch deserves a shout. I think no one's mentioned Caicedo. I think Caicedo has been immense so far this season, but we are talking top three here. Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. Top three, you probably have to look at the. I'm gonna go Palmer, Gravenberch,
Virgil,
Saka. I would go with those three. Just again, we start going top four, top five. Then Virgil's there, Caicedo's there, Haaland's there. Haaland's had the goals. There's no doubt about it. But when I'm looking again, the way Saka driven his team forward, I just think overall, even when he's not scoring and assisting, Cole Palmer. You watch the game against Forest. Some of the stuff he did in that game, that touch that he had. I know the goalie made a great save to knock it around the player and run onto the ball.
Didn't that come off the Forest player? I don't think he touched it, you know.
There's
one angle.
Gabriel here.
The one angle. Sorry. One angle looks like that, and then I saw another angle where you can clearly see it comes off his foot, and you can see Palmer shape his foot for the movement. And I was like, wow. So it's look. I'm not just disrespecting any of those players, but top three makes it a harder decision to make. But for me, Palmer, Saka, Gravenberch would probably be, just personally speaking, my top three so far this season. I think they've been a Gravenberch. I'm actually at a point where I want to say Gravenberch number one. I just think he's, because of the others, I kind of expected them to be really good. Gravenberch has done this out of nowhere. Not just, I know he's a good midfielder, but doing it in a kind of DM role, I think Gravenberch has just been amazing. And again, he's a Liverpool player. He's my biggest rivals. Despise the football club from a footballing perspective. But I've got to praise it. I've got to be honest and say what I truly feel. I think Ryan Gravenberch has been an absolute sensation this season. He really has.
I agree.
Is no one going to throw Raya out there?
No, but if we did a top 10, it would be a different
I'm not saying top three, but like he's not miles away. He's made like he's had 4 games this season where the guy's been a flipping joke.
Henry, I think this is a video idea. Top 10 players in the Premier League so far.
I love people that are telling me that I've got a Haaland agenda. When, as a Man United fan, I've literally said he's the best finisher Europe has seen since R9. Where's the fucking agenda? I've said he's the best finisher the Premier League has ever had. Where's the agenda? I slag off everyone that calls him a tapping merchant because that is the laziest piece of analysis ever. Because if tappings were easy, everybody else would do it. I stood next to him, shoulder to shoulder, against all the allegations of League Two player. I predicted when he joined the Premier League, he would break Salah's record in the first season, and he did, and I got laughed at for it. There's no Haaland agenda. I'm just talking about overall so far this season. I'd put 3 other players slightly above him in overall performances. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. You know?
Would you put Mbeumo top 10?
Yes, yes. And Mbeumo's been. I mean, he's a shout for number one if you want to go pound for pound. Pound for pound, he's a shout for number one.
Mm-hmm.
Hasn't he got 5 goals this season?
Done 6. Very well.
He's
done very well. Done very well this season. He's very good. Who else has been great this
Would
year?
Havertz sneak in though?
No.
Quite. Don't know. Do you know who? Another striker. I'll tell you a striker I'd throw in there.
Duran.
No, Duran's in there, but also I want to say Delap. It's
Liam Delap.
Liam Delap. Ipswich looks really good. Duran goes into that conversation. There's no doubt about it.
Wait, I say this: Danny Welbeck.
Welbeck's
How many goals does Delap have?
Spurs.
How many goals does Delap have?
But we're talking pound for pound here. It's hard. Like the team he's got, the quality around him. Oh.
What about Brennan Johnson?
Well. Because there's that trending clip of the guy.
I'm not even taking the piss. I'm not even taking the piss. Is Brennan Johnson not in there?
But you don't like it.
He's had 5 games.
I don't care that I like him. I'm asking you guys.
Then Diaz should be in there.
Do you know what? I'm making a shameless claim as well. My team's been crap, but I'm throwing Maswari in there. I think he's been brilliant this season. Individually, he's been great. But get well soon after your heart. Get well soon, actually, mate, after your heart operation today. So get well soon, my friend, and be a very minor one. They've said should be a few weeks until he's back. Brendan Johnson's probably in the top 20 because I don't think his performances have been great. Scored goals though.
I think if we're bringing Johnson and Havertz, then Diaz is in the conversation. Then
yeah, Diaz. You could argue Diaz has performed well though. Overall, looked really good. Chris Wood is a shout at Forest. Chris Wood is a shout.
I think
Gabriel Magalhaes.
Who?
Sorry?
Gabriel Magalhaes.
Yeah, I said that a second ago.
The centre back.
I know he is.
So he's got who he scored against Spurs, Villa, and City, didn't he? Or he didn't score against Villa.
No, he scored against City and Spurs.
There we go. A few super chats here.
Scored, bro.
Salah, Elise, Rodrigo, Vinny, Yamal, Palmer, Foden, all better than Saka.
Madness.
Rodrigo, Elise, Yamal, Palmer, and Foden are not better than Saka.
Yamal's better.
No. The only people on that list that are 100%, I don't think there's too much of a debate, that are better with no small margins is Vinny and Salah. That's it.
Yamal is.
I don't know, because Yamal's young, in it. For that, the fact that Yamal's young at that age.
Yamal had his first season. Let's check.
I know, but his ceiling's looking higher, bro. I'll be real. His ceiling's looking higher.
He's one of the big reasons why Barca are there.
Yeah. Wasteman Ram, no squad rubbish. Jones and Elliott in the league. Wasteman Egal, Arsenal's squad isn't better than Liverpool's. Both are average. It's in the real McCoy. I swear he used to be called I swear this guy used to be called Michael Ramsey on here. The emoji's the same.
He was.
The emojis. And for years I thought it was the map of Africa. It is, but it's also a woman bending over.
It is.
Love it. At the same time. Doesn't mean you won it before you have a better chance. Did Arsenal's Invincibles win again? I do think winning in the past gives you a string to your bow that people that haven't won before have, but doesn't guarantee you're going to win it. That is where I say you were right. Look, I want to thank everyone who's tuned in to the show tonight. We're back tomorrow with more content for you, so please hit the like button before you leave. Please make sure you subscribe and turn the bell notifications on. Trimless, Egal, Ram, Henry, and David. David just disappeared. I didn't know he was only staying for an hour, but he's gone. I'm off to watch England play. I'm really excited about the lineup tonight, so I'm going to go give that a little watch. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless, and we will see you all again very, very soon. Peace.